Ach, das ist wieder dieser Cup, glaube ich, ne? Ja. Den ich selbst auf der PS4 noch nie gewonnen habe. Das ist das Einzige, was mir echt so fehlt. Ich gewinne diesen scheiß Cup nicht,
Da bin ich schon durch.
Meister ist kein Ding, aber, also kein Ding ist jetzt ein bisschen übertrieben, aber den Cup gewinne ich nicht, Und ich musste ihn jetzt auch auf der PS4 nicht gewinnen, den musst du, glaube ich, nur gewinnen, wenn du bei Jam spielst, dann musst du ihn gewinnen. Die Trophäe. Aber ansonsten musst du eigentlich auch nicht gewinnen.
Number 23. Hi everyone, we've got a good one for you tonight. It's Game 3 of the NBA Cup for both of these teams. Let's get started. Alongside Richard Jefferson, Greg Anthony, and our reporter David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. And we got another seat right here. In the NBA, no better insider than Shams Charania. Hey Shams, great to have you with us.
Thanks a lot, Kevin. It's great to be here. I'm honored, I'm privileged.
Look at Richard Jefferson. He's like a kid in a candy store. He cannot wait to talk to you.
Yes, we love RJ.
Well, a chance to check out some stats for Anthony Edwards.
And he's fallen out of favor a little bit in their offense, at least compared to how he was being used earlier in the season. His usage percentage is down over the past 5 games. Maybe he'll be more involved here tonight.
Ich hätte echt gerne auch mal so ein T-Shirt.
The post-pair form, it'll be Smith and Şengün. At the guard positions, Van Vliet and Green. And it's Thompson in at the 3 slot. And for the Timberwolves, Edwards on the wing. He's joined by McDaniel.
Jetzt sind wir plötzlich in
Mr.
so
Perfect
einem,
out there with Randall, and it's
weiß ich
Conley in
nicht,
at the point.
Grasgrün. Also ganz grasgrün ist es nicht.
Das hatte ich einmal mit Miami, da hatte ich dann plötzlich so ein Retro-Trikot an, so ein Neon-Retro-Trikot.
Echt? Mhm. Sprungball gewinne ich auch nicht.
Van Vliet against Conley. Van Vliet outside, and the whistle blows. It's going to be on Anthony Edwards.
Foul von Anthony Edwards.
First foul of the game.
Es sind 10 Sekunden Foul von Anthony Edwards. Sehr gut.
Smith scanning the floor. Lets a floater go. A rebound by the Timberwolves. They are tearing through the league right now with 15 wins in a row.
There's a lot of players who will say they don't take notice of a budding winning streak. But when it's double digits, everyone knows. Winning streaks are a lot harder than people think because every single team wants to be the one to take you down.
Now here's Van Vliet. After the miss from Mr. Perfect. Tries from 10, and he gets it to go, hitting off the back of the rim.
And unafraid to challenge the heart of this defense. Van Vliet's a strong finisher for his size.
3-pointer, Randall. Moves back up. And there's the bucket coming on the way up from Mr. Perfect.
And once he got to the 10, I think he was surprised to find himself that wide open.
Easy possessions like that literally are just a gift. You just dream of them. He'll gladly take those.
And Shams, we know you are so connected and on top of so many great stories and players and trends in the NBA. I have to ask, what is your I'm talking to my teenage daughter. What is your screen time like? You've got to be in front of that computer and clearly in front of your phone every minute, or at least most every minute of every hour of every day.
It's not as high as it needs to be, Kevin, I'll tell you that much. And thankfully, it's not always like that, but certainly at the biggest times of the year.
Foul Anthony Edwards. Das zweite.
It is certainly up there, almost in the 19 to 20 range.
Anthony Edwards hat keinen Bock mehr zu spielen. So wie anscheinend hier Oscano, der mit seinem 6.
Off in the summer, but for those 10 months, it's 7 days a week, a lot like you. But I know how much happens in the offseason. That's my interest.
Ich würde gerne mal wissen, wenn das wirklich mal
is that you're watching this game, but your
zu
mind is always
mehreren gehen
thinking
würde, wer
about
von uns
this
beiden
and
zuerst
that, and it
ausgesprochen
never
ist.
ends. Like, you must not get much
Besonders wenn wir uns
sleep.
beide
You cannot
gegenseitig
get much
checken
sleep,
müssen.
right? My goodness.
We do get sleep, but your off season is my season, Kevin, and I want to make sure as we get this season going,
So,
I'm
dann
able
würde
to
es richtig lustig
And
werden.
you always do. You always do. And the Timberwolves making
Wäre
a change
natürlich richtig
here.
lustig, wenn wir beide
Alexander
Centerspieler hätten.
Walker's checked in. And both free throws good for Green.
Steht
And
4
it's
zu
a
5.
luxury to have a great shooter like him at the line. Very rarely see him miss.
And while we've got a moment, let's send it over to our terrific reporter, David Aldridge. David?
Thanks very much. I spoke briefly with Chris Finch. He told me that Şengün won't be easy to contain. He pointed to his passing ability and said they can run their offense through him whether he's in the post or at the top of the key. He added in scoring, he presents a unique challenge. Kevin?
Thanks so much, David. Now Van Vliet, following the miss by
Mal gucken, ob
Julius Randle
Şengün
from
keinen
deep.
Punkt macht. Ich glaube, es wahrscheinlich eher
First
weniger.
quarter of ball, almost 2.5 minutes in.
Boah,
The 10-foot.
kommt der Pilz so einfach durch.
Here's Şengün.
Ja,
And
besonders wenn ich den
Şengün
switchen
from the
will
top.
und Şengün den
And attention
offensiv
out there.
überkriegt.
Şengün able to insert himself and
Das
save
ist
that play.
nervig, ja.
Pass to Alexander Walker. Goes up from the top of the key, and he nails the jumper. And in last year's playoff Shams, we did see a lot of players injured and unable to play. What are some of the solutions that may be being talked
Das
about
wäre
that you
wirklich
hear
so
about?
mein Ding.
People certainly ask, this is a result of the 65-game rule. Is it the more
Das, was
physical
mit den
play?
Bulls nicht gelungen ist,
Consequences of the regular season. The league is going to take a wait-and-see approach to determine if this
Würde
is
ich
an
schon
issue they have
gerne
to
mit
fix.
einem dieser
But they
Teams
do
hier
love the
kriegen.
results of what this has brought as far as player availability moving forward.
Yeah, they do seem sold on that 65 number, don't they?
100%. And at the end of the day, some of
schön
these
gut.
injuries are
Noch faul
flukish.
von mir.
There's a lot of
Nee,
possible
Goaltending.
body injuries, and you
Scheiße.
can't measure that. I think the league is going to want to see more
Ist
data
das
over
ein
the next
Dreck,
5
ey.
to 10 years to really determine, does this rule impact the game and impact injuries?
And so it's Conley bringing up the ball for the Timberwolves.
Ja,
And
aber
we've
auch
been
nicht geil
following this
gerade.
group's absolute dominant season, winning most games in blowout fashion.
Truly record-setting fashion. Nonetheless, though, it's been demoralizing to teams facing this group. I mean, before halftime, teams are often down by 15 or 20 points. We might be witnessing another blowout in the making here tonight.
And here is Green, following Julius Randle's three.
Ich hab doch
Here's
sogar als
Mr. Perfect.
Centerspieler den
He's
Ball nach
coming off
vorne
an
bringen. Komm mal
unbelievably
hier
fine
hoch.
scoring game. Floats it up for Randle.
Jawohl.
Up high to stuff the alley-oop.
And how about the
Alley-oop auf
combination
Julius Randle.
of power, skill, and balance? Randle gets it done above the rim on that one.
Ach, das ist noch das Gruppenspiel.
Rockets trail by 4. Now Green really played well against Portland in his last outing. Pass to Şengün. Mr.
Şengün.
Perfect with the rebound. Mr. Perfect's got his 6th rebound on the night. Here's McDaniels. And
Hold
he
on,
could not
McDaniels.
get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. The Timberwolves shooting their first shots from the stripe in this game.
And the season numbers for them at the line thus far are really poor. Something I'm sure they are making a point of emphasis.
First free throw is good. And with the new broadcasting deals, NBA salaries figuring Shams to skyrocket.
And we're not even just talking about the players, Kevin. It's the coaches. It's the front office executives. Everyone is seeing some massive, massive paydays. Every single year, we're seeing the biggest contract in league history, and it's only going to get bigger and bigger in years to come.
Are you surprised at the size of some of these coaching deals? I mean, the numbers are amazing to me.
Coaching, these front office deals, it's getting higher and higher. And once Monty Williams signed the deal he did in 2023,
Auf den
that
einen
only
Fehler, den ich
elevated the market for coaches.
hier gemacht
and front
habe,
office
macht Şengün
executives
eigentlich
also
gar
are
nicht.
getting big paydays.
Now Randle After Jalen Green's three-pointer that didn't go. The shot's good from Alexander Walker.
Nice play, and you can see they're gathering momentum.
Yeah, but they can't relax. They've got to keep building on this lead because it is
Oh,
not safe.
And now first timeout called here for the Rockets.
Bist du ruhig? Verlierst du gerade?
Nee.
Ach, du gewinnst.
Ja, aber ich esse gerade.
Ach so, was gibt's denn Schönes?
Ein Salat.
A fantastic string of games for him. Your Western
Ja, mit
Conference
Hähnchen.
Player of the Week,
Oh.
Mr. Perfect.
And when you have a big man carrying as much of the load
Spieler der
as he
Woche,
has,
Mr.
it just
Perfect.
makes things so easy for the rest of your team. Completely
Habe
deserving
ich bloß
of the
nicht
award.
können.
Outside, Green. Pass to
Oh.
Smith. They need this. Connects from three-point range.
Supreme confidence. Smith really stretches the floor with his ability to shoot.
Oh, stell dich doch mal richtig hin, Junge.
Thompson against Conley. And there's the call on Amen Thompson.
Halt mal Thompson.
That'll be his second foul of the game.
Picking up that second foul early is tough. He'll have to be careful, and we'll see how much coach trusts him to not get that third.
Brooks checked in for the Rockets. Here is Conley. Hasn't made one yet. Pass to Mr. Perfect. And he can't bank that
Okay,
one
den habe
in.
ich aber noch.
And this quarter, he has clearly
Oh,
been
kann
off
nicht,
the
schade.
mark.
Hat
Rockets
mir
trail by
eingelaufen,
6.
die Wand umgekickt.
Smith the pass to Van Vliet. Green taking his time here. Back to Van Vliet. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Shoots from 14. Şengün, that shot off. Minnesota leading by 6. And here's the fast break. Randall leading it all the way. The shot's good from Alexander Walker.
It's harder to thread those passes inside, but the reward is evident.
Hey, Shams, you're always on the pulse of those league-changing trades. We certainly saw some impactful ones last season.
Across the board, the Pacers, the Mavericks, they made deep runs, and they did so on the back of some big trade deadline moves. Those are transformations that excite all of us to witness. Even New York getting OG Anunoby at the trade deadline. This is a league that's built on capitalizing at the moment and striking when the iron's hot, and we saw multiple teams do that this last season.
That trade deadline was phenomenal for those teams you mentioned. Really impactful.
The D just kind of stepping aside and letting him get to the rim.
There's a reason, GA, the lead is what it is right now.
Yeah, it's going to take better rim protection than that if they're going to climb out of this hole.
Here's Green, following the bucket by the Timberwolves. Fades and shoots. Minnesota with the rebound. Mr. Perfect's got 9 rebounds in the game, getting it done. Van Vliet brings the double team. Here's Mr. Perfect, covered by Van Vliet. Mr. Perfect can't hit.
They've been beating them to a lot of those loose balls and rebounds here to start.
Van Vliet against Randall. Fires it up. Van Vliet can't get it to go.
You can see the frustration in the quarter on his face, especially with his team trailing. And it just seems that every pass they make is leading to a score. Just great ball movement.
And here is Van Vliet. 8 points his last outing. Pass to Smith. Outside, Green. And he lays it straight in.
The defense gets physical with Green inside, so he uses his agility to get around it.
Stolen by Van Vliet. And here we go. Van Vliet heading to the hoop. And he gets the whistle. 2 free throws coming up.
All the officials are all over that one.
First trip to the free throw line for him in this one.
And the free throws have been dropping for him at a rate of about 77% on the season.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
And he makes the first. And Shams, I've always wondered, watching you, reading you, when did you first fall in love with the NBA? And when did you decide to cover it?
Really, when I was around 10, 11 years old, I grew up in Chicago right as the Bulls dynasty was starting. I wasn't quite old enough, but I was old enough to see some of those scrappy Bulls teams in the mid-2000s. And basketball was always a part of the national discourse, but also part of my life playing it, and then now being someone that's able to inform the audience and the public.
You know what? I'm looking up and down this table. I think we all feel the exact same way. Back to Gobert. From deep Ingles.
Shot him.
So good, misses his first shot of the night. Rockets trail by 6. Here's Brooks. Wasted no time on that shot, but it's off the mark. Here's Mr. Perfect. Brooks covering. Here's Mr. Perfect. Pass to DiVincenzo. And here's Ingles outside. Buries it from three-point range.
How many times have we seen a possession like that from them today? Ending with a basket, coming off a pretty pass.
With a short break in the action, gives us a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge.
Kevin, Rudy Gobert has tied for the most
defensive
player of the year awards all time, but he's challenging himself to do more offensively. He said it's all about just being okay with missing or making mistakes. Freeing my mind and doing the things that I worked on to get out of the shell that I was being put in. Kevin, back to you.
All right, David Aldridge, we thank you for that report.
Nice ball movement there. That's how you break down the defense.
Van Vliet with it. He's certainly been a consistent piece of their offense, averaging about 14.5 points a game. Eason, a screen on DiVincenzo. Here's Van Vliet. Uses the glass to finish the layup. Van Vliet's got 6 points.
Although he is just 6 feet tall, Van Vliet has no issue going into the land of the Giants.
There's a good screen. Here's Mr. Perfect. And he drops in the layup off the glass. He's got 8.
And their offense already in a flow. Some stellar shooting to jump out to this lead.
Brooks outside. There's 1:47 left in the first. Van Vliet against DiVincenzo. Just 5 to shoot. They grab their own miss. Şengün.
Block on Şengün.
The Rockets will retain possession here. He's checked in for Minnesota. Dillingham comes in for Alexander Walker. Aaron Holiday is checked in for Houston. Completely new lineup for Minnesota. Smith checked in for Houston. Van Vliet time for Aaron Holiday. Here's Mr. Perfect. He's got 8. That one good for 2. And the Timberwolves lead by 16. All right, Shams, I know you can't reveal all your secrets, but how do you develop relationships with your sources? The players, the agents, the GMs, the scouts all over the NBA.
It comes year after year. This has been something I've been doing for the better course of the last 15 years. So for me, it's about relationships, it's about daily communication, and making sure that I keep the trust, I keep the faith, and I keep a level of respect with everyone that I come across. Relationships are the name of the game, especially in the NBA.
Well, that's what I've heard about you. They trust you. So if they're going to confide, they know they can trust you. I would think that would be maybe the core of how you operate.
Trust and faith, and that develops early, not taking shortcuts. I'm very much for the long game.
Outstanding. And so in the game for the Rockets, the post pair form, it'll be Smith and Şengün. Brooks is out there with Fred VanVleet. And it's Eason in at the 3, the small forward.
And they are absolutely stroking it from beyond the arc.
From past the arc. They get it back. Boom, he jams it straight down.
Nothing soft about the putback there.
And why chance it, right? Take the dunk if you've got it.
And that's his MO. Be physical, get in position for the putback, and throw it down. The defense got to know that's what he's looking to do.
Şengün with a wide open look. A three-pointer, no good. Minnesota leading by 17. Conley kicks to Randall. Lets it go with a 3. It falls for his 5th field goal of the night. Now shooting 5 for 8.
And his ability to efficiently score, that's really helped him out in this one, putting them ahead on the scoreboard.
VanVleet outside. The 3. Minnesota with the rebound. Their last game, a win against Boston, looking to carry it into this one.
Yeah, those road games are tricky, but they had a good strategy going in and stuck to what they do best.
Yeah, despite the challenges of being away from home, they were able to execute cleanly and look really fresh out there.
All right, well, a look at how the points have been generated so far.
Einer Bravo-Linie, der schlechteste Freiwerfer aller
So far, their
Zeiten.
long-range shooting has been the story, doing
Mr.
damage from
Perfect.
deep.
And another thing they've done so well
So
is
eine
convert
schlechte Freiwurf
fast
wurde, wie
break
ich habe
opportunities.
keine
Great job
NBA-Spieler
trusting their
jemals
guys
gehabt.
and getting those easy ones.
No good on the free throw. And
Yeah,
Shams,
but
nothing gets a workout like your phone. We're here, we're talking NBA, we're watching this game. We got this great group here courtside. You've got 2 phones working, and I'm sure there's a 3rd hidden in your bag. Can you estimate how many texts do you send and receive a day? Is there even a number we can put with that?
Kevin, how many texts do you get a day related to NBA info?
Oh, der war
You're
tatsächlich
coming
sogar
at
drin.
me.
Sehr schön.
You know the job is, it's hundreds of messages flooding my phone on a daily basis, and the screen time usually in busy seasons tends to be closer to 18 to 20 hours, but this is what we signed up for. This is what we love, to inform the audience.
Oh, and I know you love every second of it. Here's Şengün. Minnesota with the rebound. Mr. Perfect's got his 16th rebound on the night. It's stolen by Smith. Now here's VanVleet. He has 6. Green, the pass to VanVleet. Over Conley. Another miss by Houston.
The edge on the glass is the difference. It's allowed them to build this lead.
And the shot is good. Now that's 17 points for Mr. Perfect.
And that keeps him perfect from the field this quarter.
And for Houston, they're shooting just 29% in the second quarter. The offense is suffering. Smith, no luck. Here's Minnesota. They're on a 12-3 run. And Randall throws it down.
Not enough defense there. Allowing Randall to get that close is a recipe for disaster.
And here's Green. He'll bring it up for the Houston Rockets. This their first chance to take a look at the Timberwolves this season. Now a timeout called by Houston.
Und wie läuft's?
Sieht noch ganz gut aus, aber die Gruppenphase überstehe ich ja grundsätzlich immer.
Ja, was ist denn jetzt kaputt?
Hä?
Ich gehe gerade in den NBA zurück. Mein Spiel lief noch. Drücke Start, also dass das Spiel weitergeht.
Ja.
And we're
Auf
now
einmal
on the midway
rennt mein
point
Spieler
through the
von
group
meiner
stage game.
Seitenlinie, also
So
hinterm
let's
Korb,
check out the NBA Cup standing.
rennt
Well,
ins
as you know,
Mittelfeld
teams are
rein
randomly
Ja.
drawn
und fault
to
den
their
Gegner.
groups
Ich
based
habe
off
nichts
their
gedrückt.
record from the previous season. And as you can tell, some of these
Er ist
groups are
straight auf den
easier to
Gegner
navigate
zugelaufen und hat
than
den gefolgt. Ich habe nichts gemacht.
Now here's Van Vliet.
Sehr
6
nett.
points for him.
Was ist das denn?
Looking to end his cold
Das habe ich ja noch nie gehört.
and contact on the shot, so he'll
Oh
be
mein
shooting
Gott,
free
ey.
throws here. Michael Conley picks one up, and the influx of international players continues
Ich
to
konnte
just
den nicht mal
fill
kontrollieren.
these
Ich habe noch
rosters in the
versucht, mal hinzuhalten. Und
NBA.
passiert
And
nichts.
Shams, it has truly become a global league.
It's truly a beautiful
Oh,
thing,
God,
right,
eh.
Kevin? We want sports
Oh, my
to bring
goodness.
people together, to really galvanize communities, no matter your ethnicity, no matter your gender, anything. And now I really feel we're breaking down a lot of barriers in the world.
And think, 3 of the top, 5, 6 players, we got Doncic. We've got Porzingis, of course, who is such a nice player, but Antetokounmpo and Jokic. I mean, the names go on and on of key contributors to winning teams.
You have to make a case that the world team against the U.S. team, if they were ever stacked against each other, that would be a heck of a game.
You and I would pay for the ticket, wouldn't we? I would pay to watch that.
I'm willing and able to pay immediately, Kevin. Sign me up. When are we going?
I hope soon. Now here's Randall. His last outing, we saw him pour in 22. And that one drops. Randall's got 9 points in the quarter.
well-rounded effort, and they show no signs of letting up.
Yeah, not just an impressive showing on offense, but on defense as well, executing their game plan perfectly.
Green with the ball. Defended by Alexander Walker. Van Vliet kicks to Green. Clock at 6. Houston needs to get a shot up. Another miss by Houston.
They've shown some strength in the paint today. Their work on the boards
Ach,
has
die
been
schaffen es
impressive.
nicht, meinen letzten Assist reinzumachen. Das gibt's doch
Mr.
nicht.
Perfect, the pass to Randall.
man,
Takes the
oh.
13-footer. And
Yeah,
there's
look.
another one for the Timberwolves.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix
So,
it.
bitte.
They keep getting it in the
Sehr gut.
paint and continue to score consistently.
Da haben wir das Triple-Double.
Van Vliet
Was sind
outside.
Triple-Double? Hast du
Lets
auch
it
das
go from deep.
Trikot von
Nailed from three-point land.
Victor Manjana?
Van Vliet's got 10 points in the
Ich bin
game.
gerade
This
mit
is Van
30
Vliet
Punkten
calling
vor
guard.
ihm.
He's actively
Oh
looking to
Gott,
fire
der arme
from deep.
Victor.
And here's Conley outside. That one misses.
And you could tell he thought that triple was going to fall.
Van Vliet with the bounce pass. Easton passes to Şengün. Here's Smith. And that one hits back iron. Minnesota with the ball. They're on an 18-7 run. And here's Edwards from the arc. And the rebound goes to the Rockets. Smith's got his 4th rebound in this one. Pass to Green. Van Vliet right side. Out to Smith. Here's the
Oh,
three.
shit.
Minnesota with the rebound. Mr. Perfect's got his 20th rebound here tonight. Saw that coming. Inside. And
Ach, war
stolen
mir klar,
by
dass er den
Easton.
abhängt. Scheiße.
And it's Houston on the break.
Der war auch richtig
It's
schlecht.
deflected. They recover it.
Blockt.
There's Green with the three. Good, and Van
Wow,
Vliet gets the assist. Van Vliet's got 3 assists in the game.
Ja, wir auch an dem Punkt, wo ich am liebsten wieder bis zum nächsten Schlüsselspiel spielen würde, aber
This is the right play by
mir
Conley.
eigentlich geschworen, dass ich mit dem
Sticking
Spieler
motion and
alles
ensuring
spiele.
he gets to the line.
Wie jetzt von
Minnesota
Milwaukee
shooting
oder
their
was?
5th and 6 free throws of the game.
Naja gut, du spielst ja auch nur immer... Was spielst du, 10 Minuten oder was?
Ich spiele 10 Minuten, ja.
Naja gut, ich sag mal dadurch, dass du wenn du auf der Bank sitzt, es gibt genauso wie ich
Oh
das auch
nein.
mache, geht es ja sogar relativ fix, finde
Was
ich.
ist denn hier eigentlich los? Ey,
First free throw is good.
Was machen
Still a
die denn
solid
da?
point guard in this league. When Conley is healthy, he makes a considerable impact on both ends.
Kann mich mein
Nas
Trainer
Reed,
bitte einfach
he's
auf der
checked in
Bank
for Julius
nehmen?
Randle. And the Rockets making a
Machst du
change
wieder
here as
irgendwelchen
well.
Müll?
Whitmore is checked in.
Nee, ich meine, weil das Spiel dann schneller vorbei ist.
Ach so. Ja, das denke ich mir auch gerade so. Aber mein Trainer setzt mich nicht auf die Bank. Vielleicht muss ich einfach ein technisches Foul oder unsportliches Foul machen. Aber ich wüsste gar nicht, wie das geht.
Ja, muss man ein Spielversuch machen in der Hälfte des Gegners.
Thank you so much for taking time to join us. It has been a true pleasure.
Thanks so much for the invite. I can't wait to do it again sometime. I'm honored. I'm privileged.
Oh, we are going to hold you to that. Thank you again. And just great to have Shams join us, isn't it, guys? Such a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah, no one is more locked in on the league. If there's a move Shams knows about it before the players do.
And he has definitely been struggling in this quarter.
Yeah, he needs to mix things up on the offense. He simply just can't keep missing shots at this rate because he's destroying his teammates.
And the lack of effort to fight over the screen there makes that an easy shot.
Yeah, as soon as these guys feel contact, they are just disappearing like they're not even there. You gotta show some fire and keep defending.
Now here's Van Vliet. He's got 10. To the paint.
Grün macht eigentlich relativ wenig.
That one, no good. Nice defense from Mr. Perfect.
And physically, there's no doubt they've been the stronger team.
Ja, da ist ganz frei in der Ecke.
Tells you all you need to know. And Conley is just so unselfish. He's
Yeah,
very willing to give the ball up if it means setting up a teammate.
Here's Van Vliet. Smith with a screen on Conley. To stop the run. Two free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul.
Oh.
Michael Conley picks one up.
Yeah, the defender all over him.
Rockets have gone 5 of 8 from the charity stripe here tonight.
Ich sag mal, so geht's mir eigentlich auch. Also dann muss man schon, wie jetzt auf der PS4, wirklich einen ganz schlechten Tag haben. Und ich habe ja nur nicht mit 30 Punkten Unterschied verloren. Ich habe ja dann wirklich mit 2 oder 3 Punkten nur verloren. Indianer, aber Indianer ist dann immer irgendwie so ein Gegner, wo den gar nicht läuft. Zweites, ich sag ja, ein Spiel hast du gegen die, Pokal, verlierst mit 2 Punkten. Genau das nächste Spiel kommt wieder gegen Indianer und du gewinnst die Klatsche mit 30 Punkten weg.
Ja.
Das ist dann immer irgendwie...
Also 41 Punkte, 21 Rebounds, 11 Assists.
Wow.
Das ist nicht alles mit einer 1 und 71% aus dem Feld. Ah, ich wurde ausgewechselt, sehr gut.
Gott sei Dank.
Oh, 8 Minuten 23 noch. Im 4. Viertel.
Musst du noch spielen oder was?
Ja. Und da bin ich mal gespannt, wie es jetzt ausgeht. Wir haben 101 Punkte.
Mhm.
Ich würde mich jetzt auch ausfaulen, aber...
Nee, also das mache ich dann irgendwie nicht. Also ich versuche dann schon irgendwie...
Hello and welcome. Before we take a look at the action from the first half, a brief overview of some upcoming games.
Deswegen mache ich das eigentlich
bunch of road games
ungerne,
coming
sag
up.
ich mal.
This could be a good challenge for them.
Yeah, it could bond these guys together, help team chemistry. Depends on what these guys are made of. And switching gears now to that first half. What a difficult start for the Houston Rockets.
They're getting destroyed inside. I'm pretty sure even McKinney could get a layup on them right now.
Shaq, I'd get a layup on you every time. You know what I'm saying? Like, my pick and roll game was just phenomenal.
Thanks for spending halftime with us. Time to get it back out to Kevin Harlan for the start of the third quarter.
23 Rebounds, 4 Assists. Okay.
Ich bin jetzt bei 42, 22, 12.
42 Punkte? Ja, übertreibst du, aber machst du nicht jedes Spiel 70? 90! Mach doch mal 101 Punkte in einem Spiel. Du hast mal über 100 Punkte in einem Spiel?
Ja, ich kann die gar nicht auf der Miami-Charakter, glaube ich, doch nur 100 Punkte.
Echt?
If they don't change their approach in the second half, let's just say his success will continue.
Das haben wir alles selber gemacht.
Ja, da habe ich ja die ganze Zeit nur Dreier geworfen.
Dachte ich mir schon. Mitspieler kenne ich nicht.
Ja, ich hab's ja nur gemacht, um den Rekord zu brechen.
Ach so. Oh, shit.
Der ist ja bei 100.
Ja, auf der PS4 sind es, glaube ich, sogar 101.
Conley and Edwards are the guards. Randall out
Also
there
gut.
with Mr. Perfect, and it's
Und
McDaniels
das ist
at
ja
the small
dann
forward. So that's the lineup for Minnesota.
Normale,
Ja,
das
muss 101 machen, um den Rekord zu brechen.
richtig.
They set a physical tone early on, and they're being rewarded for their efforts.
Getting the latest now from our sideline reporter, David Aldridge. David, it's all yours. Take it away.
Kevin, thank you very much. The Timberwolves have become a rough and rugged team. Swingman
Dreier kann ich mit
McDaniels
meinem
said,
leider
we don't
nicht.
let nobody push us around. We're always being physical
Das
defensively.
ist mit
I feel like we're a
diesem
tough
Charakter
team.
leider nicht möglich.
Kevin, they certainly have the size to hold their own.
Always being physical. But David,
Ja,
that's their
richtig.
identity. And we
Mit dem
thank
kann
you
ich
for the
nicht
report.
machen.
Das ist schwer
Get
sein.
on the bucket.
Bei dem bin ich jetzt schon froh, wenn ich mal einen Freiwurf treffe. Das Spiel werde ich hier gewinnen.
Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Dafür bin ich einfach zu dominant unter Brett. Şengün macht gar nichts mehr.
Here's Green. And off the front iron, and in it goes. Green's got 9.
Maybe they've been going to him a little too much. Now he's having a great game, but his team is losing, and that is all that matters.
Conley, Şengün
Oh,
with the rebound.
das war nicht der Fall.
Şengün's got rebound number 5 here tonight.
Wie süß. Şengün hat 5 Rebounds.
Conley against Van
Wie
Vliet.
süß.
Outside Green.
Ja,
Back to Van Vliet. Over Conley. Mr. Perfect with the rebound.
Waste time
He's
perfect.
very confident from that range, but you can't make him all.
And that one
Waste
falls
time
coming off
perfect.
Conley's feet. Conley's got 4 assists in the game. For Houston, they've gotten just one of their first
wie viele
4 shots
Rebounds
to
hast du
fall
gerade?
since coming out of the locker room at the break.
24.
Gott.
Van Vliet against Conley.
Mein
Shot from
Rekordtrick habe ich ja
12.
sogar schon
Van
überboten, glaube
Vliet
ich.
with the bucket. 14 points for him.
Aber mein
Picking
Rekord
the
war, glaube ich,
defense apart,
bei
I doubt that they thought Van Vliet
28,
would
glaube
take
ich.
that.
So
Greg, what's
28,
the
glaube ich, war
key
mein
thing
Rekord.
Fred Van Vliet brings to this offense?
I feel like he's really a centering presence. The guys can look to him to call the play, to give them their orders, and trust that he's setting them up for success.
Here's Green. Michael Conley making his last shot. Thompson with it. Picked up by Edwards.
25 Rebounds.
Was, der Rekord ist bei
Now, here's
25?
Şengün.
Nee.
He started close. Clock at 4.
Hat jetzt
For
25
3,
Rebounds.
Van
Also ja,
Vliet.
das ist auch ein
A
Rekord
rebound by the
wahrscheinlich. Ja.
Timberwolves.
Ach so.
And not a night he's going to want to remember, just not really able to score the basketball.
Good work there as it goes. And that's now 21 points for Mr. Perfect.
Okay, so they've looked energized and focused starting this half, coming out of the break, making 4 out of their first 5.
Here's Van Vliet. And oh boy, a lot
Call
of
it
contact
fun.
there, but he gets
Mike
the
Conley.
call and will shoot
Viertel.
2. Michael Conley picks one up. And Van Vliet, not the same scorer he once was, Richard, but he has improved his playmaking.
And that's the adjustment that Van Vliet needed to make. The scoring doesn't always have to be there for him. But if he can set up, facilitate, and be a game manager, he'll find a large role.
Ich habe einen Dreier getroffen. Ich habe 52 Punkte jetzt.
Da fehlen mir noch fast 30.
Da kann man mir nicht vorwerfen, ich wäre kein
And the
Teamplayer.
first one
gewesen.
drops.
So Rebounds und
The
12 Assists.
Rockets don't just have
Ja,
young
würdest du mal 52
They
Assists
have
machen?
elite young
Ja,
talent.
genau.
Yeah, you can have
Denn
all
soll
the
ich
draft
erwarten,
picks
dass die
in the
mal
world.
punkten?
That doesn't mean you're going to hit on the right guys.
Ich glaube,
But
das ist
Houston,
tatsächlich,
they
glaube ich,
certainly
sogar
have.
eine
Alexander
Aufgabe auf
Walker,
der
he's
PS4,
checked
nur
in for Mike
50
Conley.
Assists. Ich weiß auch nicht, wie man das
Off
hinkriegen
on
soll,
that one, so
aber
he goes 1 for 2 at the line.
Genau, die Mitspieler
He
sind
is
so
a
gut.
coach's dream. That's why they love Van Fleet. The intangibles are off the chart, and the execution
ich habe gerade
is
mal 5
consistent.
Assists.
26 Rebounds.
Ich habe 27. Komm, wir machen jetzt ein Battle. Wer holt die meisten Rebounds?
Oh, der Dreier.
Anthony Edwards making his last shot. They kick it out
Das
to
ist das
Green.
beste Spiel, was ich bis jetzt hatte. Jetzt einfach auch von der Verteilung her. Weißt du, ich hatte ja schon ein paar Spiele so mit über 70 Punkten und so.
28 Rebounds.
Aber den Rebounds und den Assists zusammen.
Here's Edwards. And he buries that one, drilling the rim on the way down. Edwards got 16.
This man has entered the zone.
Ich hab sogar noch
Great
einen
shooting
Viertel.
performance from him all game long.
Du bist wahrscheinlich schon im vierten, oder?
Here's Green. There's another rebound.
29 Rebounds.
Ja, bei mir treffen sie halt dann dort die Gegner. Das ist wirklich
Ach so, das ist natürlich schlecht, ja.
With his rebounding alone. If he breaks the single game record, he's setting a very, very high bar.
Hey, whatever adjustments they made at halftime, they are working to perfection.
Oh yeah, I can't agree more. They haven't missed.
Na Gott sei Dank treffen sie bei
They've
mir
been
eben
struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a bit of a dry spell for sure.
Und durch meine Krakenarme komme ich da eben auch überall hin.
Da, guck, der prallt zweimal vom Ring ab und fliegt dann doch rein.
Baseline jumper. Another miss by Houston.
Oh, das wäre fast der 30. gewesen.
The jump hook. Trying to bank it in, but he misses.
Look like he just rushed
Ich dachte, den mache ich tatsächlich
maybe
gegen
take a little
Shingun.
bit more time in the future.
To the middle.
Oh, keine
That
Freiwürfe
one from Van Vliet.
Ei.
17 points for Fred Van Vliet.
No settling for an outside shot there. They went right to the hoop.
Here's Mr. Perfect.
Ja.
He's got 23. It's rebounded by Houston. Shingun's got his 7th rebound of the game with that last one. Van Vliet finds Green. Now here is Smith.
Ja gut, ich mache jetzt hier auch ein bisschen.
Now Van
Ich
Vliet,
versuche hier ein bisschen
17
was.
points in the game. And Alperon Shingun continues to prove himself
Alexander
one
Walker.
of the game's most promising big
Also
men.
Wembanyama.
Oh, a lot of
Was,
it
der
is
hat
because of
44
his
Punkte mehr als
passing
Victor
ability,
Wembanyama?
Kevin. Shades of Nikola
Was hat denn
Jokic
der,
out there.
2?
Having a big man who can distribute like Shingun is a real luxury.
Ich habe dann dementsprechend, nee, dann hat er dementsprechend 13 Punkte.
Wie süß.
Ja, keine Ahnung, was mit dem los ist.
Ja, ja wahrscheinlich, weil Mr. Basketball HD nicht mitspielt.
Greg, this is some kind of note. Last year,
Das anders
Minnesota, had, for just the second time, had ever won a series in the postseason.
Yeah, they've been bounced in the first round, 10 of 12
Aber es wird wohl
appearances.
bei 28
But last year's team
Rebounds
was
bleiben.
different. Their elite
Ja?
defense fueled the conference finals run.
Here's what Minnesota's
Achso,
doing
ich
with
kann ja
right
mir hier auf Pause drücken, beziehungsweise auf Weiter drücken.
Ach nee, ey, der trifft schon wieder.
Rudy Gobert hat noch nicht einen Punkt. Krass, ey.
Ha! Ich habe mir selber den Rebound vorgelegt.
Ach so, sowas geht auch. Interessant.
Ja, 61 Punkte und jetzt habe ich 29 Rebounds.
Also die habe ich auch. Aber
Ach, lustig, man kriegt ja sogar eine Aufgabe abgeschlossen für 60, 20, 10.
was, 60, 20, 10?
Ja, 60 Punkte, 20 Rebounds, 10 Assists.
Echt?
Mhm.
Ne, so viel, aber 60 Punkte schaffe ich nicht. Besonders wenn ich jetzt nicht mehr eingewechselt werde. Ach doch jetzt.
Mein Spiel.
Big group
6
substitution
Minuten vor
now for
Ende.
Minnesota. Mr. Perfect, he's checked in for Rudy Gobert. Ando comes in for Reed. Joe Ingles, he's checked in for Edwards. And Dillingham subbed in for Dante DiVincenzo.
Ich bin ja schon froh, wenn ich die 30 Rebounds zusammenkriege.
Das hat sich wenigstens gelohnt. Ich habe 1168 VC bekommen.
Oh, okay.
And here is Van Vliet taking a look at the Rockets. The forwards for him will be Brooks and Smith. And Van Vliet out there with Thompson. And it's Shingun in at the center position. Here's Thompson, and foul on the shot. He'll shoot
Carlton
2
Randle.
at the free throw line. Julius Randle picks one up.
And with his movement skills, Thompson routinely catches defenders out of position.
And to look at how the offensive approach has been going here so far for Minnesota.
Look, they're getting good looks inside. It's been a point of emphasis all night long, but I love this hard-nosed attitude of this team.
Irgendwie würde ich auch immer, also gut auf dem PS4-Version mache ich das tatsächlich immer. Aber auch nur, weil ich da schon Meister geworden bin.
That free throw missing. And RJ, even without a consistent
Klar, mit den Timberwolves könnte ich es wahrscheinlich sogar machen, weil ob ich jetzt nur nachher mit einer Niederlage rausgehe oder nachher mit 5 oder mit 6.
Ach, das wäre ein Trikottausch. Na gut, kann ich nicht alles simulieren.
Ja, passt. Gegen wen hast du denn diesmal das Trikot?
GA, if you look back at the Rockets' history, so many all-time greats have spent time there.
Yeah, it's an impressive list, right? Olajuwon, Moses Malone, Calvin Murphy, and Harden. Houston's well represented in the Hall of Fame.
In recent history, GA, we've seen some so-called redshirt rookies really thrive in their first season.
Oh, great call, partner. Blake Griffin, Joel Embiid, Chet Holmgren, the latest, were all forced to sit out their first year, but they got to be around the team, soak up as much knowledge as possible, and you can't really argue with the results. It helps that Thompson can score with either hand close to the bucket. Defenders can't force him to one side or the other.
Three-pointer, Randall. Rockets with the rebound.
Kommt aber auch nicht dran vorbei, ja,
Brooks finds Van Vliet.
Ich bin eigentlich gespannt, was das ist, weil hier diese 3 Challenges ab, um Belohnung zu erhalten.
Just 5 on the clock.
Oh Gott, was mache ich denn da?
Back to Brooks. This one for 3. Rebound, Minnesota.
Die 30. Darauf muss ich aber irgendwie warten wollen.
And it's Alexander Walker in the corner. Mr. Perfect, the pass to Alexander Walker. Trains the three-pointer.
And perimeter scoring, I have to imagine it was a topic of discussion at halftime.
And we see this so much more nowadays in the NBA. Teams putting a larger emphasis on jacking up threes.
Aufzusteigen in was?
For 3, Van Vliet.
Ach so,
Shot
okay.
off. For Minnesota, they've gone 7 of 13 from the field here in the fourth.
And guys, he's not an easy man to stop when he's got the rim in his sights.
Never has been, never will be. He is a determined finisher. Here's Thompson. RJ, what have you noticed about the young players that enter the NBA today?
Unfortunately, the NBA is now tasked with teaching players how to play basketball. The NBA wasn't a teaching league 20 years ago. Now it is. A lot of players are spending their first, second, and even third year learning how to play basketball. That was not always the case. They used to go to college and play for Hall of Fame coaches for 4 years.
You know, Greg, when you look at the Timberwolves' history, the first round had been a problem for them. But not last year, as they swept the Phoenix Suns.
And you gotta look at it as being a tremendous success, right? Because going into the season, I don't know that anyone thought they would have made it to the conference finals. But boy, that young group gelled well together, and the sky's the limit for the future.
And he can't get the first. Minnesota making some changes. Reed, he's checked in for Mr. Perfect. And it's Dante DiVincenzo in for Julius Randle. Green, he's checked in for the Rockets.
Was hat er jetzt? 25 Punkte, 30 Rebounds? Ich glaube, ja. Das wird dann wohl auch reichen.
So it's the Timberwolves taking care of business here. And with that, they remain
Was,
undefeated in
187?
127 zu 87.
Achso, ich wollte gerade sagen.
187, die so krass in der Offensive sind bei den nun auch wieder nicht.
Reporter David Aldridge,
Ja.
Richard Jefferson and Greg Anthony.
Sind schon nicht schlecht, aber...
We thank you for watching tonight's game. And we'll see you next time.
Und nicht bei 4x12 Minuten